quarterback, only don't trust the quarterback. Why can the Bills win? Josh Allen. Why are the Broncos not the best team in football? Bo Nix. Like, the Bills don't have a lot of right now. James Cook's excellent, obviously. It's a little overstatement. Super redeeming qualities, except for they've got a guy at quarterback, even if he's not having his best season, that you feel like can throw the Superman cape on. The Broncos check every box of a legitimate Super Bowl contender, except people are like, Bo Nix, really? And so, but I think right now, if they played in a playoff game, you'd feel like you have to pick the Broncos. They're better at everything. And then you'd be like, I'm picking Bo Nix over Josh Allen. Feels weird.
I'm genuinely curious to get the perspective of the Denver Broncos' fan base on this matter. Specifically, I want to hear their takes on Bo Nix as a player and about the team's current standing, which still has them looking up at the Kansas City Chiefs in the division, despite the fact that this very squad just went out and defeated that same Kansas City Chiefs team, a roster featuring the one and only Patrick Mahomes, along with their defensive maestro Steve Spagnuolo and the rest of that formidable organization. The stakes could not be higher at this precise moment for the Denver Broncos and their quarterback, Bo Nix. The team is coming off its bye week. They've had a chance to decompress, enjoy a Thanksgiving meal, all those positive things. They are riding the high of an absolutely colossal, season-defining victory over the Chiefs, a game in which Nix performed exceptionally. The defensive unit was stellar. The offense clicked on all cylinders. It was a complete team effort. From head coach Sean Payton to every player on the roster and the entire fan base, everyone delivered. Following that, they faced the Washington Commanders on a Sunday night, a franchise that has been struggling immensely. That was a classic answer the call situation. Then you have a matchup with the Las Vegas Raiders, an organization in complete turmoil, letting people go left and right. It seems nobody's job is secure within that Raiders structure. You simply have to take care of business in those contests. Then, the schedule presents a sequence of genuinely intriguing fixtures. The Green Bay Packers, a squad with a stellar defense, and an offense that is finding its rhythm. It will be fascinating to see what kind of form they are in by the time December 14th rolls around. Then, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who might be one of the most perplexing and unpredictable teams I have ever encountered in my entire life. They are a truly fascinating study. They can defeat the Los Angeles Chargers, they can topple the Chiefs, and you're just left thinking, okay then. Following that, you have a Christmas night showdown at Arrowhead Stadium against the Kansas City Chiefs, a game that could carry monumental implications for Kansas City. By that point, the Broncos should theoretically have their playoff position, at least within the division, solidified, whether that involves a first-round bye or another seeding. But the Chiefs could very realistically be in a situation where they are fighting for their postseason lives. You could, quite literally, extinguish their playoff aspirations on Christmas Day. Now that is what you call a compelling football game. The final game of the regular season against the Los Angeles Chargers is a complete unknown. Who can say who that game will be significant for? It might matter to both clubs from a playoff seeding perspective, or perhaps the Broncos will be in a position where they are content with their standing. Or maybe the Chargers will have completely unraveled by then, with a decimated offensive line, a limping Justin Herbert, and their playoff hopes completely evaporated. Perhaps they will still be fighting for a spot. It's truly impossible to forecast. This uncertainty is precisely why I am focusing more intently on that middle segment of the schedule. You have back-to-back games that absolutely must be victories. You have to put these teams away decisively. When you're in the hunt for the number 1 overall seed, the accompanying first-round bye, and home field advantage throughout the playoffs, there is no room for what I call trap games. That's not how this works. You cannot afford to overlook an opponent and start thinking about the following week. It's just not a viable approach. So, you handle your business against those two teams, and then you enter a legitimate 3-game stretch where the contests become a bit peculiar. You don't really know what to expect, and so on. And then the Chargers game is just that final question mark, because nobody knows which version of that team will show up by that point in the year. Furthermore, the team is in a position to build significant positive momentum by playing the Commanders and then the Raiders. You get to feel good, build confidence, and have the offense operating more smoothly. A key benefit of the bye week is that it allows a team to conduct a thorough self-audit. The coaching staff and players can meticulously review what schemes have been effective and what areas have been deficient. It provides a brief opportunity to hit the reset button. Consequently, I am immensely intrigued to see what version of Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos emerges from this break. I'm keen to observe what Sean Payton has identified as points of emphasis, what he has seen on film, what new elements he might incorporate, and what he might discard. You simply do not have the luxury of time to conduct such a deep introspective analysis during the relentless grind of the regular season. Your entire focus is necessarily on preparing for the next opponent. That is the primary advantage of the bye. You get to block out everything else and just focus inwardly, diving deep into your own performance. And crucially, you have a more manageable game leading into that bye. It's not a situation where you are coming out of the break to immediately face the Chiefs or another elite team, where it would have to be an all-hands-on-deck scenario from the first snap. That hasn't been the necessary context here. The Broncos have a tangible, realistic opportunity to secure the AFC's top seed, with the first-round bye and home field advantage that comes with it. Their remaining schedule is distinctly bifurcated. There are games where the expectation is clear. You had better win, because if you don't, we will have serious questions to address. Then, there are 3 games that fall into a different category. The Chiefs rematch is a tough divisional road game in a challenging environment, playing an hour ahead of your usual time zone. The Jaguars, as I stated, are the most bizarre team imaginable. While I truly believe the Broncos are the more talented team, Jacksonville's sheer unpredictability makes them a volatile opponent. They are just a strange football team. And the Packers are a physically tough opponent. They possess a great defense, and while their offense has been inconsistent, that very fact could make for a rugged, low-scoring matchup. It is certainly not an easy game. It has all the makings of a tough, physical, defensive struggle. So, there are some critically important games in this final stretch. Another fascinating subplot, something I mentioned a few weeks ago, is the weird strategic dynamic that can emerge. For instance, a loss to the Jaguars could, through a complex chain of events, theoretically be what ultimately eliminates the Chiefs from playoff contention. There are these other strange variables and external factors at play right now that add another layer of complexity to the end of the season. I am providing this commentary now because of the way the Thanksgiving holiday and the overall schedule is unfolding. I'm doing my utmost to create and schedule content for everyone. I am recording this before the Chiefs game against the Dallas Cowboys, before the Philadelphia Eagles played the Chicago Bears, and before all the other contests that will take place up until Sunday. I'm speaking on a Wednesday, so I do not possess all the current information. I don't know the exact standing of the Chiefs at this very moment. Perhaps they were humbled and knocked down a peg, or maybe they secured a victory and are now applying pressure, positioned right over Denver's shoulder, sending a message that the Broncos need to keep winning or they will be caught. We shall see. We will definitely see. The narrative from certain analysts like Nick has certainly reinforced a lack of trust and faith in Bo Nix's abilities. So how does Bo Nix respond to this? I am incredibly eager to find out. I truly, genuinely am. I am so excited to see how this unfolds. The schedule presents some ostensibly easier games, some legitimately difficult contests, and some tricky, unpredictable ones. It will be fascinating to observe how he and the team navigate this crucial period. This is the home stretch. It may sound stupidly obvious to say it, but home field advantage and a first-round bye are on the line. In fact, a Super Bowl appearance is legitimately a possibility that is on the table. If Bo Nix can continue his process of development and take another step forward in his progression, if the speed of the game can begin to slow down for him even a little bit, this team has the opportunity to skip several developmental steps and potentially find itself competing in the AFC Championship game or even the Super Bowl. They have a chance to legitimately fast-track the typical timeline for building a contender. It's incredibly interesting stuff. Really profoundly interesting. And everything hinges on this final stretch. You must take care of business and secure the victories in the games you are expected to win. You don't necessarily have to win every single one of the difficult games, but you absolutely must handle the more favorable matchups. Then, if you can go, for example, 2 wins and 1 loss against that tougher trio of opponents, you are right there. You are in an excellent position to achieve your ultimate goals. But these are just my personal thoughts and observations. I would absolutely love to hear what you all think. What is your opinion on the Denver Broncos' current situation? What are your thoughts on the pervasive lack of trust in Bo Nix and the sentiment from commentators like Nick that if Nix were a truly legitimate franchise quarterback, the Broncos would already be the best team in the NFL? Please let me know your perspectives in the comment section below. I read every single comment that comes in. Whether you are in full agreement with me or you completely disagree, I want to hear from you. Let's get some discussion started. Let's get into some friendly debates. But ultimately, let's just have a great time talking about football. Please consider subscribing to the channel. We are in the process of building a truly amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to have you as a part of it. My goal is to build something that we all feel genuinely connected to, something we are truly excited and proud to be a part of. I believe we are well on our way to achieving that. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it genuinely helps with visibility within the platform's algorithm. Thank you so much for your time and engagement. I'll see you next time.